The Dreame X40 Ultra is a high-end robot vacuum and mop that takes the hassle out of cleaning your home. With its powerful suction, self-cleaning mop, and automatic refill and emptying station, the X40 Ultra can clean your floors for up to 75 days without any intervention. It also features advanced navigation and obstacle avoidance, ensuring that it cleans efficiently and thoroughly. With its auto-extending and auto-retracting mops and brushes, there's no worry about cross-contamination. Whether you have hardwood floors, carpet, or a combination of both, the X40 Ultra can handle it all. Now take a look at the packaging of the Dreame X40 Ultra. It does look fantastic, definitely does scream high-end, and I'm very excited to put this vacuum and mop to the test. It does feature up to 12,000 PA of suction power, so it's able to suck up everything off the hardwood or out of the carpet in less passes, so you're able to get your house cleaner that much faster. So without further ado, let's get inside of this box and take a look at what we got. Inside the box, we do have the ramp that's going to attach to the base station so the robot can easily get inside. We of course do have a full-on user manual, a quick start guide, magnetic mopping pads that are actually Velcro so you can easily remove them, wash them, and replace them, a dust bag to collect all the dust and debris in the base station, a bottle of multi-surface floor cleaner to keep the floors nice and clean, a nice little hand brush that actually extends outward as needed and also does have a little razor blade tucked away, a big beefy power cable for the base station, the Dreame X40 Ultra robot vacuum itself, as well as the full-on base station for the X40 Ultra to go inside, get nice and clean, get all the dust and debris sucked out of it, and all that good stuff. Now, obviously, I have to mention it. I love the design because it's all matte black, but also, as you can see, we do have a nice goldish, copperish color accent. Looks fantastic. Love that. So now let's start by getting all this film removed. Now if we take a look inside of the base station, as you can see, we do have the base right here. It's going to clean the mopping pads, and then this is actually removable so you can clean it if you need to, although it will clean it itself, so you generally won't have to. But as you can see, this piece actually rotates to get a nice deep cleaning. Inside we have little outlets so it can suck out all the dust and debris from the robot itself. We of course do have charging pin connectors so it can charge up the robot, as well as a little inlet here for water. Then of course this piece right here on the front actually pops off and reveals the dust bag here, and as you can see, it's going to be a very simple process for replacing this as needed. You're going to simply pull this little tab. Once it's out, you're going to pull it out the rest of the way, and as you can see, it'll actually close it up so none of the dust and debris will get out. You simply toss this out, take a new one which is going to look like this, and then slide it into the grooves like so. And just like that, you're ready to go once you get it tucked in there and place the cover back on. Very simple process. You don't have to do it so often, but when you do, it's not a hassle whatsoever. Now if we take a look up here at the top, we simply open this up and we do have two water tanks. The clear one's going to be for clean water that you fill up on your own, and then the black one is going to be for dirty water that's going to fill up from the robot after it cleans your floors, and you're going to empty this out. And trust me, it is going to smell because it's doing a great job cleaning all that yuck off your floor. And these also do have very large capacity, so you won't have to empty and fill them too often. Now taking a look at the X40 Ultra robot itself, let's remove this film. And as you can see, we do have a nice matte black cover here, so it's not going to be a fingerprint or dust magnet, which is very nice. So now taking a look right here at the top, we do have our LiDAR navigation sensor up here so it can map out a 3D image of your home. We also have a power button that doubles as a start cleaning button, a return to home or dock location button, as well as a spot cleaning button. Now if we pop open the top, we are greeted with the built-in dustbin that's going to trap and lock all the dust and debris. And as you can imagine, you're not going to have to remove this too often because everything's going to get sucked out of it into the base station all by itself without any intervention whatsoever. Although every so often you do want to pop this open and clean or replace this filter, and then simply drop it back into place like so and close it, and away you go. Now if we take a look at the front, we do have AI action, so we have our cameras and sensors right here on this bumper. So if it happens to bump into something, it'll know that it hit something and it'll know to stop. But of course we also do have the camera and sensors along with the little LED light. Now these sensors up here on the front actually consist of an AR infrared camera, an AI HD camera, a microphone, a camera indicator light, the LED auxiliary light, and 3D dual laser sensor. Then over here on the side, we actually do have an edge sensor, so once it detects an edge of a room, it'll actually extend out this brush so it can trap and lock all the dust and debris that are over there that are gonna be missed otherwise. Now if we flip it over and take a look at the bottom, this is where things get a little bit more interesting, as if that was possible. We do have two big beefy tires here, so it can actually go over humps and carpet on the floor, so that way it won't get stuck. We do have our brush-free roller brush here, so it's not gonna get tangled up with hair because there's nothing for it to tangle on. But in the off chance that you do wanna clean it, you do pop this open and pull this out just like so, and it's a very simple process. Slide it back into place and put the cover back on, really easy. This is of course where all the dust and debris is gonna get sucked into the dustbin so it can get trapped and locked and then sent over into the base station into the dust bag for disposal. Then also down here on the bottom we do have a 360-degree pivoting wheel so it can take any turn that it needs, as well as a roller brush here so it can actually spin around and pull all the dust and debris into the middle so it can get sucked up by the roller brush and pulled into the, we already went through that. Now, as if we didn't have enough sensors already, down here we actually do have a carpet sensor, so it'll automatically detect carpet so it won't try to mop it, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4 cliff sensors, so in case it goes to a staircase, it's not gonna drive off and start falling. Now, the cool thing about this spinning brush is it actually does extend outward so it can get into the corners and crevices, so it'll get all the dust and debris that's on the floor no matter where it is. And it's a little bit hard to tell right now, but it actually is retracted, so it'll actually push out when it's being used and then pull back in when it's not being used. That way it won't touch what it doesn't need to touch. Now, over on the back, things get more interesting as well because this is where the two mopping pads are gonna go. They're magnetic and they simply slide into place just like so, and they're attached by magnets and they will spin. Now, the cool thing about this one is it actually does extend outward like so, so it can get into the edges of a room, so it'll mop your entire floor without an issue and it'll automatically move back in as needed. Now, the other thing is these actually also do retract upward and come back down depending on if it's being used to mop, so that way if it detects carpet, they'll get retracted back so it won't wet your carpet. Remember, all this is happening automatically by itself, which is pretty fantastic. Now, over on the back, we do have our charging contact, so it'll come in contact with the base station so it could charge up. We do have the water inlet so it can refill clean water, as well as a little rubber flap here that actually is where all the dust and debris is gonna get sucked out into the base station. As you can see, this is a pretty sophisticated robot vacuum and mop with a ton of features. So now with that being said, let's get everything assembled, which is pretty straightforward. We're gonna take this little ramp here, place it right here, just like so. Locks into place, and then of course the robot itself is going to just slide up the ramp and lock into place, charge up, empty out, clean the mopping pads and all that good stuff all by itself. This is a really fantastic design though. I just love that accent. And of course, other than filling it up with clean water, we're actually going to remove this little cover, pull out this little section right here. We're gonna pop open this top, and right here we're actually gonna fill it up with our detergent solution so we can get the floors as clean as possible. And we simply just pour it inside. Close the top, put it back into place. And now it can not only use the water, but also the detergent to make sure our floors are spick and span. And then we simply take our power cable, slide it in the back, and plug it into the wall. All right, so I've been using the Dreame X40 Ultra for a little while now, and I'm actually really liking it. It is a phenomenal vacuum. And the first thing I gotta mention is, as I was moving it and getting everything set up, the actual base station itself was actually surprisingly lightweight and easy to move. It's very compact given all the features that it has built inside of it. Now, speaking of those features that's built inside of it, it has a large capacity water tank for both clean and dirty water, so you don't have to empty it out too often, which is gonna save you a lot of time as far as manual labor goes when maintaining this thing. Now, down at the base of the base station, we actually do have some very sophisticated stuff going on, including cleaning your mopping pads with hot water to get them as clean as possible, drying them with hot air to get them nice and dry as well. But as it's cleaning them, it can actually detach them from the magnetic attachments of the X40 Ultra, so it can clean them and spin them around very fast to make sure to agitate and scrub away any dirtiness that is on them. And on top of that, while the X40 Ultra is going out to vacuum, it can actually drop the mopping pads in the base station and leave them there, so that way there's no chance of getting your carpet wet because the mopping pads are literally disconnected, and it does all of this by itself, which is fantastic. Now, moving on to the X40 Ultra itself, once I had it set up, I sent it out to go map out the entire area, and it did so very efficiently and very accurately in no time at all by itself. After it mapped out everything, it labeled each individual room. I was able to rename them, adjust the different areas within the app with ease, and there was no problems there. As far as obstacle avoidance, it actually does a fantastic job at avoiding any obstacle you throw at it. And the best thing about this is when you're looking in the app, it actually marks where the different obstacles are, so you can actually see in real time that there's an obstacle here, maybe there's a shoe over here, there's pet feces over here, so it actually knows what's where and where everything is, so it knows not to go there. I actually did a bit of a test myself. I put some fake feces on the floor along with a shoe and a power cable, and it avoided everything every time without issue, so that was fantastic to see, because obviously if this vacuum got into some pet feces, wouldn't be nice, and also if it gets tangled up in a cable, it won't be able to clean the rest of your house. You already know how that goes if you had a vacuum that didn't avoid these obstacles. Nightmare situation, but this one had no problems whatsoever with all of them. Now after I had the area mapped out, it was time to put it to the test to see how well it could actually do some cleaning, and I was very excited to try out some of these new features, including the SideReach technology, so that spinning brush on the side actually will stick out once it goes into a corner, so it can get all of the debris and dust that is in that corner that would otherwise be missed by other robot vacuums that don't have an extended reach brush sticking out. Now the cool thing about this is it happened so fast. I had some stuff in the corner, it went to the corner, it shot out the arm, and before you knew it, it was gone and it already cleaned up everything, which was fantastic. Let me actually slow this clip down for you so you can actually see it happening, because it's kind of easy to miss given how fast it actually did the job. As you can see, it gets to the corner, it shoots out the arm, spins around, brings all the debris to the middle roller brush, and gets on its merry way in no time flat. Now as if that wasn't cool enough, it gets even better because we also have MopExtend Robo Swing technology as far as the mopping pads go. So one of those will also push out into corners in order to get all the messiness out of the corners while it's mopping the floor so it doesn't miss any area. And as you can see, I had some hot sauce in the corner, it went to the corner, it fantastically shot out the mopping pad into the corner and made sure to scrub it out and leave and keep the floor nice and clean. Very nice. Now although swinging out the brush and the mopping pad is fantastic, there's also a few other things that are going on with this, including the brushes will actually retract while it's mopping, so that way they won't spin around and go through a wet mess while the mop is trying to mop it. And also the mopping pads will go up as well when the vacuum is trying to vacuum and use the brushes to get all the debris and dust off the floor without wetting it. This is especially true when it comes to carpet. It'll automatically retract the mopping pads up, assuming they're still on, because like I said, you can have it set to actually leave the mopping pads in the base station so they're not there whatsoever when it goes to clean the carpet. So it's entirely up to you which way you want to go about this. Either way, you're going to be fine. Unless you have super high carpet, then it's probably best to have them taken off completely in order to not touch the carpet. Now on the subject of carpet, this is where the 12,000 Pascal Vormax suction really shines, because I covered the carpet floor in some powder. I sent the robot to go clean it and it sucked up all of it in no time at all. Went over it a couple of times and bam, all of it is gone. Looks like nothing ever happened. So if you happen to spill some flour, chips, or whatever on the floor, you don't have to worry about it because the vacuum will do a great job at sucking it all up. I mean, 12,000 pascals of suction is nothing to laugh at. Now, while the X40 Ultra is cleaning any area, it's very cool because it does differentiate where it's vacuumed as well as where it's mopped. So in the area that it vacuumed, it makes sure to do, a pretty simple line going around the route that it traveled as it was vacuuming. But as far as mopping goes, it actually has a bit of a bigger bubble type line going on, so you can actually see where the mopping pads were on the floor, so you can see exactly where it was mopped. So if you're having a vacuum and mop at the same time, you can see the line within the bubbles, and if not, then you can just see the line or the bubbles by themselves depending on what you're cleaning. Now as far as vacuuming goes, if you do happen to have pets in the house with a lot of shedded hair everywhere and you're tired of it, there's an optional tri-cut roller brush that you can get with the X40 Ultra to install, and that way it'll have no problem sucking up all kinds of hair, whether it's pet hair, human hair, any kind of hair, without it getting tangled, because it'll do a great job at cutting it up and sucking it into the dustbin without getting tangled up in there and causing suction issues. So that's a must-have if you happen to be a pet owner, myself included. It's definitely a wonderful addition to the X40 Ultra. Even though it's already a fantastic robot vacuum and mop, the tri-cut roller brush makes it even better. The X40 Ultra also does feature Clean Genius technology, which is basically the AI protocol that's going to be used to make intelligent decisions as far as the cleaning goes. So it'll go to different rooms, different floor types, and adjust the cleaning perimeters to clean the area as efficiently as possible depending on what it sees, which is very nice. But keep in mind, of course, if you do want to customize it to your own liking yourself based on individual rooms and settings, you can also customize everything to your liking as well if you don't want the AI to take control of everything. So overall, the Dreame X40 Ultra Robot Vacuum and Mop is a fantastic robot vacuum and mop. It has a fantastic design, actually it's small and compact given all the features that it has. Like I said, inside of the base station, it's amazing that they fit all of it into such a small package, but it also does a great job at cleaning both dry and wet messes and cleaning up after itself as well. Like I said, it goes back to the dock, cleans and agitates the mopping pads on its own with hot water, hot air, gets all that taken care of, and sucks out all the debris into the dust bag in the base station, and you can get up to 75 days of use without any intervention whatsoever. Although obviously that depends on how dirty your house is and how often you have it cleaning, but that's gonna be a long time no matter what. especially with the large capacity water tanks. Like I said before, the app is extremely easy to use and highly customizable, so you can customize it to your exact preferences, so it can clean certain rooms at certain times with different perimeters, or you can just have the Clean Genius AI clean all of it for you intelligently and make all the decisions without any intervention, which is personally what I like to do, so I don't have to do anything myself. So overall, the Dreame X40 Ultra is a fantastic robot vacuum and mop that does a great job keeping my house clean without really any intervention from myself personally, which is fantastic.